Welcome back here, everyone, to another live episode of the J&J Talk Show. Another segment here as we get ready into Week 3 of the NFL. Hopefully, everyone's enjoying their week. Hopefully, everyone is also having themselves a good week, as well as getting ready for their weekend. I just make some adjustments, and we're ready to have our program. Thank you for everyone for tuning in. It's been a quiet week. It's been an impactful week. Also, we talked about everything going on in the world of sports, everything that going on in baseball. I was with you guys earlier in the baseball segment. The road to October, that was on Tuesday, and then we're back live again for NFL. We have the NFL review this week coming up today. Right now, we have tomorrow in a what do we need to know for the weekend, as well as then our regular show coming up on Sunday. So we have a lot of shows getting to you right away. And if you paid attention to NFL last week, and we had some really good games last week, going off of an impactful week 1. We took a look at the Washington football team, who picked up their victory last Thursday. They beat the Giants. And then there was some impressive games. For example, Carolina defeating the New Orleans Saints. We had the Denver Broncos defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars. Buffalo Bills beating the Dolphins. The Tennessee Titans upsetted the Seattle Seahawks. Really big upset there. The Cowboys defeated the Chargers. What a great game that was. If you got a chance to watch that game, went right down to the wire. Cincinnati tried to make a comeback against the Chicago Bears, just couldn't hold forth. They fell short. Cleveland beating Houston. Rams in Indianapolis. Indianapolis tried to make a comeback too, just didn't prevail. Oakland and Pittsburgh, we talked about how last week that was going to probably be the game of the week, and it succeeded. Game of the week it was for the Las Vegas Raiders and Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh picking up the victory. San Francisco 49ers picked up the victory over the Philadelphia Eagles. Another good game right there. The question was, does the New England Patriots, and I like to refer back to ever since they released Cam Newton, and I feel like the Patriots are going to have a struggle maintaining their reputation this year, because they had Cam Newton last year. I know they didn't perform the best type of football last year, but they had Cam Newton, and they had Cam Newton coming into this season up until the final preseason where they cut him. And the question is how will the Patriots progress over throughout the season with the ups and downs that they're going to have with their quarterback. And I really thought last week that they would beat the Jets, but they were going to lose to the Jets. I'm so excited for the Jets this year. I don't know why, but I always want the Jets to somehow do play well, do have a decent season. But Baltimore Ravens defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in a huge upset there. Very impressive as well. That was a big game between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, just imagine trying to go from 0-2. It's in a tough division that they're in. The Kansas City Chiefs showed up on week 1. They had themselves a huge game against the Cleveland Browns. Ravens had a huge game against the Vegas Raiders. and then they fell short to Monday Night Football. And that game lived up to its expectation. And then this Sunday night game was going to be another one because it was crucial that the Ravens picked up a victory. And now, throughout the game, they're in the scene of losing and becoming an 0-2 team, which would be definitely difficult for them to make a comeback with how good the AFC North is. They were able to prevail. So, Baltimore Ravens come out 1-1. Green Bay Packers picked up the victory over those Lions on Monday Night Football. It was a decent game. I wasn't too impressed. Kind of concerned. Listen, Green Bay's back home. They lost to New Orleans on week 1. They come back home, and they're saying you got to pick up a victory there. So me and my partner Justin has also been keeping tallies. If you have not gotten a chance to head over to our Facebook page, on the JJ Talk Show, we have been picking up tallies with submitting picks. We post the NFL games each and every week, and then from there we submit picks on who we think is going to win. And week 1, I came away with 13 wins. My partner came away with 7. And this week, kind of a little bit more of a down week. My partner once again went away with 7 wins, and then I went away with 9. That leaves us at a total of, I'm sitting at 22, and he is sitting at 14. So we have the picks up. We have the games up for week number 3, we've already posted my partner's picks. I will go ahead and post my picks after the show when I sit here and go through them for you guys today. While we're at it, don't forget to hit that like, share, subscribe button for more content as well. You can head over to our Facebook page at JJ Talk Show. Follow that page. We're now also on Spotify at the J&J Talk Show as well. So many opportunities to view us at throughout any different channels. You don't have to just get tired of watching my face here. You can listen to us on now Spotify. Excuse me. I also like to take this time to thank one of our promoters for our channel and for our content, and Trey, who's been doing a lot of promotions of our channel as of late. So thank you for all your effort and everything that you've been doing to help us out. Last week, I talked about the importance of teams going to 0-2 and 2-0, just some ideas here. I was kind of very impressed to come into this week to see the Carolina Panthers go 2-0. That was kind of shocking to me. Arizona Cardinals, I've been hyped about them early on here this season so far. I knew just how, with all the additions that the Cardinals picked up, I knew the importance of how deep the NFC West is going to be. I think we talked about that heading into week 1, was that this is going to be a tough division. Seattle picked up their first loss, and they're the only team that has recorded a loss coming into week 3. And, every game is going to be crucial. It's not going to be easy. I mean, Tampa Bay and the Rams are facing off this weekend as well. So every win counts, and the Cardinals are going to try to stay in it as long as possible. And I think that they've made key additions throughout the offseason to keep themselves in that picture throughout the remainder of the season. The teams coming in at 0-2 so far, the Falcons. They're facing another 0-2 team this week, the Giants. That's going to be a big and crucial, important game. Just imagine if Matt Ryan and the Falcons go over to New York and lose to the Giants and face the Giants. And then they come out 0-3. Indianapolis Colts got off to a rough start. Now with an injured Carson Wentz, what is their storyline moving forward? How will they overcome it? What is the injury status for Wentz? as they go 0-2 heading into week 3 against the Tennessee Titans. Are you surprised that the Denver Broncos are 2-0? They picked up a win last week against Jacksonville. And then I believe week 1 against the Jets. No, not the Jets. I have it somewhere here. They picked up Denver beat Jacksonville. And then Denver also beat the Giants. Now they get to face the Jets. Vegas Raiders 2-0. They really have gone off to a hot streak this season. I'm impressed. I mean, I knew that the Raiders were going to. This is the time we emphasize how the Raiders. This is their season. They got a couple years into John Gruden's coaching system. They got rid of some players. They've also made some very important additions, and they made an important statement back on Monday Night Football Week 1 against the Ravens. Then it was going to be a key game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, which then they succeeded. It lived up to its potential there. Lived up to its expectation. It was the game of the week, in my opinion. And they go in back home to face the Miami Dolphins as sitting at 2-0. I wonder how long, as the season progresses, they got up to this great start, and hopefully they continue into Wednesday with this great start. But how long, or this Sunday, but how long will they get into it? Knowing that there's now 18 games or 17 games, 18 weeks in a season, how long will they take before they start downgrading themselves, or the fatigue gets to them? I think that was one of the issues with some of these teams. You see that in baseball all the time, but especially, you get beat up each and every week. And, for teams that have their early bye week, it doesn't necessarily help adding additional game to the schedule. So as we head into week 3, and as the Las Vegas Raiders, look into 2-0, I'm not worried. I'm not necessarily worried about this upcoming game against the Dolphins, but moving down the line as we head into week 10, 11, 12, 13, towards the end of the season, especially dealing with the teams like the Chargers, who are who are 1-1, who are showing some promises, the Denver Broncos, who are surprising at 2-0, and the Kansas City Chiefs at 1-1 as well. Interesting fact, the Chiefs are not in first place as of today. Or as of Sunday. First time in a while. Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Rams. We'll get to that one. Both are undefeated so far. 2-0. I say undefeated. I don't feel comfortable saying undefeated because they're just 2-0. 5-0 is undefeated. 10-0 is undefeated. 17-0 is undefeated. 2-0 is not undefeated yet. I mean, yeah, they're undefeated, but I don't consider them. Minnesota Vikings need to pick up a victory this Sunday. San Francisco Giants heading into Sunday Night Football 2-0 to face the Packers. Those are just some 2-0 highlights. We talked about the 2-0 highlights, and now it's important because we're in week 3. Just as important to go 2-0 in the first 2 weeks. It is, and just as important as to avoid to go 0-2 in the first two weeks. These teams that are 2-0, these teams that are 0-2, it is important to go 3-0. It is important to avoid going 0-3. I mean, Tampa Bay and the Rams, one of them is going to lose. One of them is going to go 3-0, the other is going to go 2-1. Jacksonville is going to look to knock off the Cardinals to pick up the first victory and cost the Cardinals their first loss. Can that happen? We'll get into that. Falcons and Giants, one of them is going to go 1-2. One of them has to win, right? I mean, unless they go pick up a draw, both of them. So Another interesting week in the NFL here. And we got to start off with Thursday night football. Carolina Panthers 2-0, taking on those Houston Texans later on this afternoon. I don't know. I have a controversy. I have a little. I'm nitpicky a little bit when it comes down to primetime games, Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night football. I really just want to see good matchups, and I don't want to decredit how the Panthers and the Texans are playing. But for me, these are primetime games. You want people to tune into those games, and I'm just like Thursday night. Maybe I remember years ago, where every Thursday I believe was a rivalry game. And it gave you something to look into, and it kind of got you ready for the regular season. So like you said, the Panthers and the Texans, they're not bad. I'm not declining how they are, what they've done over the last 2 weeks. I just don't know if it's a Thursday night football game for me. Like I said, I want primetime games. Sunday night games. Doesn't I feel Thursday should be rivalry Thursdays. It should be a rivalry game, whether it's the Giants going up against Washington, whether it's the Detroit Lions going up against the Chicago Bears, whether it's the Chargers and Chiefs. Chargers and Chiefs play this week, and that's a primetime game for me. It's a rival game. It's been old. It's an old one. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh are primetime games. How come that can't be played on Thursday night? Monday night, Sunday night, and Monday night football, they should be impactful games. They should be games that, should be subject to change based off of, what's going on in the NFL. Especially towards the end of the season. Sunday night baseball changes all the time. The Yankees and Red Sox will take the last Sunday night baseball of the season this coming up Sunday. And football should be the same way. And I think they kind of do that. But, you got to just you got to feel the vibe from the fans, from the community, and see what team's really booming. The Buccaneers and the Rams are primetime game. If you keep Thursday night, Thursday night is you're playing 3 days in advance. And you should just, like I said, make it a rivalry game. Keep it rivalry oriented. And then go based off Sunday night's game, based off of what the vibe is, and then do Monday night, make key important matchups. Panthers and Texans, though. Let's get right down to business here. I got to pick the Panthers in this one. My partner also picked the Panthers, but we're gonna go pick the Panthers on this first Thursday night game here on week 3. And I'm going for it because they're 2-0. I'm going to be biased against that one. They're 2-0 this season, so I'm going to go for it. Washington over in Buffalo. Washington picked up a very impressive victory last week, but they didn't really play anyone in importance. I know the division is always important, and it always has been, always will be. But Buffalo, they're looking to take back that AFC East. They did it last year. They've been doing it the last couple of seasons, and they're really wanting to jump on this case ever since the departure of Tom Brady in New England. So me and my partner has also selected the Buffalo Bills. Chicago Bears and Cleveland Browns. My partner picked the Cleveland Browns, and Cleveland Browns are at home. They're both 1-1. Cleveland lost to Kansas City. On week 1, picked up a victory against Houston last week. The Bears lost to a very good Rams game back on Sunday Night Football week 1. Picked up the victory in a close game. See, they had the game. Andy Dalton gets hurt throughout the game. Justin Fields steps in. It was a good, exciting game. The Bengals almost came back to win, but it wasn't enough, and the Bears walked away with the victory. They probably should have lost the game with how they let the Bengals walk back down the field. But both of them made several mistakes and several errors that it was not a clean game. I'm going Cleveland in this one. Partner also went Cleveland. By the way, like I said, you could, if you're tuning along, if you're kind of missing who we selected, you could jump over to Facebook. I know my partners and like the page on Facebook, JJ Talk Show. Scroll down to week 3 picks. Join along with us. Put your picks in there. I want to follow you guys as well. And then you could tune in, and my partner has posted his picks. I'll post mine after I get done with this program here today. But follow along with us. Like I said, I currently have 22 victories over the last 2 weeks. My partner's had 14. Kind of just a friendly competition here. Baltimore Ravens over in Detroit. And with Baltimore picking up the victory last week, I think they have motivation to come in and pick up another victory against Detroit. You know, the thing is with Detroit, you think Jared Goff goes over there, he's going to have a good season. I think this is now exposing Goff and what he really is doing. And it's going to be difficult for the Lions to pick up a victory this Sunday. So Baltimore Ravens. We got me and my partner picked Baltimore Ravens over the Detroit Lions, which the Lions are going to sit 0-2. Well, and like I said, the impression is we'll probably come back next week with just a little bit longer segment because it is key. The chances of teams going 0-3 this week. And then to still have an opportunity, even though there's one additional game, but still have an opportunity at a postseason spot. It's kind of hard to do. Arizona over in Jacksonville, and I watched 2 weeks of Jacksonville, and they, like I said, I thought that they had a better opportunity last week, but they, playing against the, I believe they were playing against the Texans. Oh no, they're playing against Denver. I'm sorry, week 2. But overall, Arizona is that team that you want to tune in because you are looking for. You have so many dominating duos in the Cardinals locker room when it comes down to receiving. And then, I'm giving a lot of credit to the receiving, but you got to give a lot of credit to their defense. Arizona's been playing really good defense. That's what led them to 2-0. Me and my partner is also going to Arizona over Jacksonville. I don't think Jacksonville's going to have enough what it takes, even though they're home, to face to defeat the Cardinals. It would be an upset, a huge upset, if the Cardinals if the Cardinals fall short to Jaguars. The Chargers over in Kansas City, I said this could be a primetime game. Whenever the Chargers and Chiefs meet up, especially as of late, especially when now, ever since the Vegas Raiders and Chargers, Vegas Raiders and Chiefs. I don't know, man. I don't want to take a bias aside of the things, but I probably, because growing up on the West Coast, seen a lot of these West Coast games. These are big games. These always have and always will be big games. Ever since Phillip Rivers, ever since Patrick Mahomes came in, ever since matter of fact, ever since Alex Smith came over to Kansas City, it's been huge games for the Chargers and Chiefs to meet up. Then when Peyton Manning went over to Denver, the West was booming. My partner picked the Kansas City Chiefs. You know what? They're at home. Kansas City is at home this weekend. And I don't know. I mean, the Chargers should have won last Sunday's game. It was a very good game for the most part against the Cowboys, but I'm going Chiefs as well. Saints over in New England. Both 1-1. My partner picked the Saints, and I want to pick the Saints on this one. But they're New England. Just how will they perform? It was picking up the victory over the Jets a error. I guess is my question. I'm going Saints as well. So far, we picked the same exact team. It's going to be hard for him this week to get any advantage. Atlanta over New York. Partner picked Atlanta. I got to agree, Atlanta. I think Atlanta with Matt Ryan, you have more completed team. You have more of a completed team than the Giants. I wouldn't be surprised if New York picks up the victory, but I think there's a little bit more fighting for Atlanta because here's the thing. If Atlanta loses and they fall 0-3, you could almost guarantee their season done. At week 3, their season is done, especially if you're dealing with the South. So I think there's more writing on this game. I think that even, with how the East played last year, the Giants, with a loss starting 0-3, they still have a slight opportunity of making it back to the postseason. Another primetime game here. Cincinnati Bengals taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Joe Burrow back in health. You taking on Ben Roethlisberger. You're in Pittsburgh. My partner picked the Bengals. And I like the Bengals' performance. I think that they're going to have some really good games, and they've already showed the first 2 games to be very well. A game back on week 1 that they should have won without any hassle that took them into overtime, and then they try to make a comeback against the Bears last week. My problem is with the Bengals, and I think I've already said this here, okay, is I want to shoot for the Bengals. I do. I want to root for them, but right now in this case, when they get into the dog days, I think we talked about this with a few other teams. When they get into the dog days, I think we talked about this with the Raiders here early on. When they get into the dog days, how well are they going to be healthy? I know they added the 1-2 punch, and this game, you're going to see some exciting things coming out of Cincinnati. But they're in Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh prevails, and they pick up the victory. My partner picked the Bengals also. Another important game here coming up this Sunday. The Indianapolis Colts trying to pick up a victory over the Tennessee Titans. My partner picked the Titans. And you know what? If Carson Wentz was back in action, if he was healthy, and I don't know what his status is as of today, if he's playing or not. I don't think so. But with Carson Wentz getting hurt, if he wasn't hurt, I would have picked them. But with that being said, with him getting hurt, I'm also picking the Tennessee Titans. The Jets versus the Broncos. You know what? I got to really I really got to say here, it makes it hard. I always try to sit here and maybe give some more support to one of the New York teams because they just have not been playing the way they want to play. I want to choose the Jets. I really do because I want to see them perform well. But it's, just like the Atlanta and Giants game, Denver's 2-0. And they got off to a start, and it would be impressive to see them go 3-0 this season. So I'm going for the Jets and I'm going for the Broncos as well as my partner over the Jets. Talked about Miami over in Vegas, over in Vegas to face the Raiders. The Raiders are 2-0 to start the season. My partner picked the Raiders, and I got to go with the Raiders as well. They came off to a tough 2 games. Ravens and Steelers are not walked through the parks, obviously. It's been tough 2 weeks for them. They get to come home, kind of face a little bit more moderate Dolphins team. They're at home. And I'm embedded on the Raiders. They show something impressive. Like I said, the question is when you get down into week 14, 15, 16, when the games count even more to try to make a postseason spot. But I think the Raiders, as long as they keep doing what they're doing, the question is how fast are they going to tire themselves out? But so far, they look like like fantastic. And I think that's what you gotta. I gotta stop looking at week 14 or 15. I gotta start looking at week 5 and 6. Shorten my span down, take it 1 week at a time. But I can't help but to look down that far because that's where it really matters. Here's a primetime game. Also, I think everything that is going to happen should be happening here, and that is your Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Los Angeles Rams, both 2-0 to begin the season. Great start. You see, the Rams have had some trouble early on in this season. And although they picked up 2 victories, this because they have 2 W's on them, they have not been easy to pick up. They've had a battle with the Chicago Bears back on week 1, Sunday Night Football. They also had a comfortable lead in Indianapolis against the Colts, at which then they over time slowly progress. And it turned out to be 27-24, but it probably shouldn't have been. Probably should have been more. I'm going Tampa Bay in this one, just how well Tom Brady is. I think that a lot of people are really claiming that the Chiefs and the Buccaneers are going to revisit each other at the Super Bowl. And at the way that they're going, I don't see why not. Tampa Bay, Tom Brady is still looking great. He's still performing great. Whether you like him or you hate him, you have to give him the respect for what he's doing, taking his knowledge from all those years and experiences in New England, going to Tampa Bay, winning a Super Bowl year 1. There's just so many great things you could say about him, and he's really vibed the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And so therefore, like I said, they won the Super Bowl last year. They come back in and do it. They're trying to do things again. And right now, with the little bit of struggles for the Rams, unless they're cleaning up a lot of things this week and they head into week 3 with a lot of cleanup, Tampa Bay's walking away with the win. It's going to be a good game. I could even say it may be even a tight game. I would like to see Tom Brady and Matthew Stafford to go into a throwing duel. But I think Tom Brady is going to walk away with this one. I think the Rams are going to have a little bit of issues. This is really going to take the Rams out if with how the intensity level is for Tampa Bay. Seattle over in Minnesota. My partner picked Seattle, and I got to go with that too. I know Seattle lost against a tough game last week against the Titans, but Seattle is I think it's just dominant. I don't know. I don't see the Vikings there yet. They still got a long ways away. They had that one fluke season where they accidentally went to the playoffs. I said accidentally because it was accidentally. It was an accident. It's okay. Things happen. Green Bay Packers over in San Francisco for Sunday Night Football. I think this is a perfect Sunday Night Football game. The last 2 games have not disappointed. I don't think this one's going to disappoint too. Aaron Rodgers going over to San Francisco. If I'm not mistaken, there was rumor talk about Aaron Rodgers going to San Francisco in a trade. I don't know. Free agency. Just imagine Aaron Rodgers in a 49ers uniform. But you know what? Aaron Rodgers, Jim Garoppolo. Great matchup there. My partner has the 49ers prevailing. I like to think so as well. I'm a little up in the air about this one. It's going to be hard. It's going to be a hard game. Tough game. Exciting game. Good game. We're going to be sitting here doing our talk show this Sunday night, and it's going to be hard to take our eyes off the screen watching the Packers and the Niners do business. They've been such an exciting game to watch whenever they play one another. I'm going to have to sit here and also agree with my partner and go with the 49ers because, I got to go with the 2-0 team. The 2-0 Packers lost to the Saints week 1. What happened? But it's going to be a good game. I think this is one of the key games of the week as well. We got Monday Night Showdown football rivalry here. Philadelphia Eagles and Dallas Cowboys. My partner picked the Dallas Cowboys. And with that, Prescott picking up a very important victory again. I'm going Dallas too. I have to. I think that they are very well put together. I thought that it was a tough, they had obviously a tough team, with Dak's first game being back week one. It was a tough first game for the Cowboys on Thursday Night Football facing the Buccaneers. They regrouped and they had a really good game against Los Angeles Chargers. Going into some Monday Night Football, another prime time, they're home this time. They get a home game, and they get to face the Eagles. And I think this is where Dak Prescott does what he does best against his rivalries. And this is going to be a game to pay attention to because this is what's going to set them forth throughout the rest of the season. So I'm going Dallas Cowboys over the Philadelphia Eagles. There's some exciting games on this week. Chicago Bears, Cleveland Browns. I think as much as exciting that game could be for me, there's other games that's going to prevail. Chargers and Chiefs. That's going to be a 1 o'clock Eastern time game. Bengals and Steelers. A lot of good first half games. Second half, you got the Buccaneers and Chargers. So you got an impactful from when you wake up to watching your first kickoff to when you go to bed at night on Sunday. But once again, it starts back here on Thursday Night Football and Carolina Panthers and the Houston Texans. So with that being said, we're wrapping up here another episode of the J&J Talk Show segment where we sit here and discuss all about the NFL Week 3, what you need to know. Those are the highlight games. Those are our picks. Like I said, I will put my picks up a little bit later. At this point, I also like to thank StreamYard for having a studio that we could produce content on. I would also like to thank Placeit that has our logo up here in this corner screen up there. We will update the intro video that you've seen, Epidemic Sound, and more. I would also like to thank Spotify and YouTube for allowing us to share our content, as well as Facebook. So those are just some typical things that we like to give our thanks to because we want to stay humble. And it's true. I mean, it's not like we want to be mean or anything. We are given the foundation to put up content for you guys each and every week. So, on behalf of the JJ Talk Show, like I said, coming up tomorrow is what you need to know for the weekend. College games, baseball, football, everything that you need to know heading into the weekend will be tomorrow right here on the J&J Talk Show channel. Also, come back in and tune us in on Sunday, where me and my partner has another episode of the J&J Talk Show. Very fun and exciting time. We always have fun doing it. And we'll explore the world of wrestling. What's happened this week on Raw, NXT, SmackDown. Hey, maybe I'll throw in some AEW, Ring of Honor, Impact Wrestling. Maybe we'll have a certain discussion that's been up in the air thanks to the dark side of the ring. I don't know. Maybe you never know what's going to be on the show. I also want to go ahead and mention that we had possibly, don't forget, this Sunday is Extreme Rules. So that's also going to be covered. Monday, it's still up in the air, but there's a discussion about having a Fallout episode Monday morning. So a lot of content for Extreme Rules coming up this Sunday. So a lot of content coming your way here. But I hope you guys enjoyed this channel. If you do, like, share, subscribe. Head over to our Facebook page at JJ Talk Show. Follow the page and follow with us, as well as Spotify. Go to Spotify. Go to the J&J Talk Show on Spotify. It's free. And listen to all of our content on there. My name is Justin. On behalf of the J&J Talk Show, we thank you. You guys have yourself a great rest of your weekend.